What's up, YouTube? This is Skills versus Pills, where we show the roll your bullshit, counter back with the right hook, and lay that ass out. I want to discuss the Mayweather Jr. Mayweather Sr. fight that happened on the first episode of 24/7. You know, a lot of people are going on and on about Floyd, snapping on his father, and the language that he used and how disrespectful he was, towards his father, you know. And me personally, I'm not the type that like to disrespect anybody. You know what I mean? If it comes down to it, it comes down to it. I'll let the hands do the talking, or walk away. So this discussion right here is more about the background and the inner feelings about what's going on when you see a father and son fight like that. You know, from my own experience, when my mother and my father got divorced, I was only a couple years old, but my father, he was the light heavyweight champion of the world, the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, So, he moved away to a different state when they got divorced. He didn't, he stuck around for a little bit, but after a while, he moved back to his home state. And, elementary school and everything, when you find out that you're the son of the champion, of the ex-champion at the time, as I got older, he was the ex-champion by then, you know, you always feel like, that day is going to come where he'll come back and make you, what he was, pass down, the family trait, and unfortunately for me, he never did, once he left, and never came back, never looked back, and it's sad to say that, now, I'm 28 years old, and I've only seen my father. I can count on my hands. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to him on the phone every now and then, but there's been years at a time that we didn't talk. And I'm a very athletic. I have an older brother too, and we're two athletic guys. You know what I mean? And I think one of our top goals in life was always to be fighters. And for some reason, we always waited for our father to come back and train us and make us into the champions we should have been. And honestly, it's pretty funny because my father fights damn near like Mayweather. You know what I mean? He was a smart, defensive, aggressive fighter. You know what I mean? He had great defense. He knew how to slip punches. Um, the one day I'm gonna upload his championship fight. On YouTube, you can find him, J.B. Williamson versus George Foreman, and you can also see him when he was a little older, and he's light heavyweight. He was a light heavyweight champion, like I said. He was also um, the All Marine champion at 156 pounds. He was Golden Glove champions in several states. You know what I mean? He was national champion professionally. He was continental champion. He was all these different champions. So we always felt like, he'll come back for his first two sons. So when I look at Mayweather, sometimes I feel like, man, that I should be living that guy's life. You know what I mean? I should be, as rich as him. I should have skills like him. I should be just as far along in my boxing career as him. But I look at my father, and I can only blame my father 50% for not being there when he should have. You know what I mean? I train hard every day, and I try to do what I can. But I still have no fights under my belt, and I blame my father for that. So when I seen this animosity between Floyd um, and Big Floyd come up, I thought, wow, man, I really feel deep inside where Little Floyd is coming from. As a kid, Big Floyd took him through 90 fights as an amateur. You know what I mean? All those fights as an amateur, and then when it counts, like my father. You know, he did his career and everything, but when it counts, when you're supposed to pass it down to your kids, when you're supposed to be there for your kids, and you're not there, you know, somebody's gonna end up with a hole in their heart. You know what I mean? And I honestly do feel like Floyd Mayweather Jr. has a hole in his heart that his dad hasn't been able to fill. You know, him becoming a man and maturing, you know, helped him, you know, find substitutes for that hole in his heart, which I believe is money and fame and being flashy. You know, that's I believe he gets that because he doesn't want people to look at how his father left him. You know what I mean? Just like I like fast cars and women. You know what I mean? Fast cars and women. You know, complete the hole, fills the hole in my heart that um, that my father apparently put there. So Floyd, you know, I wouldn't, you know, I talk to my father all the time now as an adult. You know, he still lives in another state. I still haven't seen him since for years. You know what I mean? I seen the guy when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I seen him when I was about 16 years old for a week or two. And, that's all I really remember of him. You know what I mean? He doesn't know me, and I really don't know him. But now that he's getting older, he realized that he should have had a relationship with his sons. This Facebook thing, you know, Facebook is out, and everybody is like, oh, you know, who's who, and who haven't we, what family haven't we met, and you know, who should we know, and this and that, and I think that actually gets to him. You know, when we're posting pictures of our kids and everything, you know, I think um, Floyd Sr. and Floyd Jr. They want to have that family relation, but there's still that gap. There's still a bridge where I feel that Floyd Sr. has to cross to get over to Little Floyd. You know, Little Floyd is still trapped in the time that his dad left him. When Floyd was heartbroken after the Olympics, after they robbed him in the Olympics, you know, he was looking to his dad, you know, to fix his heart. You know, I mean, to make him a pro champion. You know, don't worry about the Olympics. You're gonna be a world champion. But his father wasn't there. You know, his uncle picked up. So when his father comes back and he wants the credit for it, Floyd reminds him, no, it wasn't you that, you know, that helped bake the bread. It wasn't you that, yeah, maybe you did, you know, bring the cooking books to the house. Yes, you know, you guys all into it. Yes, you know, we were very interested. Yes, you know what I mean. But when it was time to count, when it was time to, you know, put in the hardest of work, you know what I mean, as a professional, he was nowhere to be found. You know, he was doing his own thing. You know, selling his stuff, making his money and stuff like that, and not really, you know, focusing on the mission at task. So I say Mayweather, you need to repent to God. You know, it's, you know, apologize for calling your father, you know, a faggot. You know what I mean? I think the whole argument was fine until he called him a faggot. I feel that was one of the most disrespectful things. You know what I mean? Like, maybe his father had some hard times in prison or something that he knows about. Who knows? There's a reason why he's calling him a faggot. You know, he just don't call, you know, somebody that you know gets a lot of pussy a faggot. You know, I've never been called a faggot before. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, or like Floyd, I read a interview today with Floyd Sr. talking about how, you know, Floyd loves 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, Floyd has a beautiful woman. You know what I mean? Like, but when you start to cross the lines, you know, he could have called his dad a taxi driver, a bum fighter, and all that stuff. But crossing the line into calling his dad a faggot, those are fighting words right there. And I think he was very disrespectful when he crossed that line. So I believe Floyd needs to apologize for disrespecting his father to that point. You know, you don't want the world walking around calling your dad a faggot. You know, and been disrespectful like that. You know what I mean? People can call him a bum, but like he said, he's made 13 champions, 13 world champions in 13 years. You know what I mean? He says, how many had Roger made? You know? So, you know, Floyd Sr., maybe you need to sit back and let Floyd have his own career and try not to interfere, you know? Stay back, you know, congratulate your son, you know? I know you're one of the best trainers in the world. You wanna, you know, give your input, but you're giving your input to a guy who doesn't necessarily want it when other people see. You know, he'll take it in private. We know he'll take your advice in private, but when the cameras are out, he'd rather Roger do the talking. Roger's his main trainer. Roger's his main dude. He doesn't like Roger sitting to the side while you try to take back over. So. You know, from my own experience, Floyd, you know what I mean? Nothing's gonna go right in your life when you're disrespecting your father, you know what I mean? When I was young and I was mad at my father for not ever, you know, being around and everything, you know, nothing went right, you know what I mean? So I called him one day and, got the relationship, you know, not really back on track, but at least got to, you know, speak in terms, and things went a lot better in business-wise, you know what I mean? They say, you know, if you disrespect your father, your business ain't gonna go right. If you disrespect your mother, your wife ain't gonna act right. So, Floyd Mayweather, you know, pick which one you want, you know what I mean? So, the skills versus pills. We'll show the road that bullshit. Counter back with the right hook. Lay that ass out. Thanks for watching, y'all.